Before we return to the halls of Ivy, let's hear the story of how one man developed a taste for family parties and Schlitz beer.
Well, ordinarily, I look forward to family parties like I look forward to 2 weeks of rain on my vacation. Oh, but I make one exception. There's a certain relative of my wife who can win me away from my fireside any day. He's the one who introduced me to Schlitz beer, and I still thank him for it. I remember when this relative first invited us over for a family get-together. My wife wanted to go, and I didn't, so we compromised and went. On the way over, I visualized a dismal evening playing some game like charades, which I happen to particularly detest. But things began to look up the moment our host greeted us at the door and said, I hope you won't mind if we don't waste the evening playing silly parlor games. And when I discovered that we were both fly fishermen, well, I began to think of my host as more of a friend than a relative. It was just about then that he brought in the Schlitz beer. Well, the evening was full of pleasant surprises. I'd heard many good things about Schlitz and had always planned to try it. So try it I did. And never have I tasted a beer as satisfying. As I drank, I found myself hoping that this particular in-law would throw another family party very soon. And I found myself saying, as surely others have said in tasting this fine beer, no wonder they call Schlitz a beer that made Milwaukee famous. Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Before we return to the halls of Ivy, let's hear the story of how one man developed a taste for family parties and Schlitz beer.
Well, ordinarily, I look forward to family parties like I look forward to 2 weeks of rain on my vacation. Oh, but I make one exception. There's a certain relative of my wife who can win me away from my fireside any day. He's the one who introduced me to Schlitz beer, and I still thank him for it. I remember when this relative first invited us over for a family get-together. My wife wanted to go, and I didn't, so we compromised and went. On the way over, I visualized a dismal evening playing some game like charades, which I happen to particularly detest. But things began to look up the moment our host greeted us at the door and said, I hope you won't mind if we don't waste the evening playing silly parlor games. And when I discovered that we were both fly fishermen, well, I began to think of my host as more of a friend than a relative. It was just about then that he brought in the Schlitz beer. Well, the evening was full of pleasant surprises. I'd heard many good things about Schlitz and had always planned to try it. So try it I did. And never have I tasted a beer as satisfying. As I drank, I found myself hoping that this particular in-law would throw another family party very soon. And I found myself saying, as surely others have said in tasting this fine beer, no wonder they call Schlitz a beer that made Milwaukee famous.
New kind of shoe shine, new shine-ola. A one, a two, tell them what's new.
Kids scuffed up shoes, take on a dance and shine.
With new shine-ola, the liquid kind. 8 to 9, tell them it dries to a shine.
No puffin' and no buffin', it dries to a shine.
That new shine-ola, the liquid kind.
Next thing you know, the Shinola folks will be offering to put the shoe polish on for you. Their new Shinola liquid wax not only shines itself with no rubbing or brushing, it now has an ingenious new kind of applicator that takes the work out of applying the polish. It's a flexible, flat-shaped applicator that bends to the contour of your shoe and eases right into those hard-to-get-at corners. Spreads the polish so accurately, you don't even have to take your shoes off to shine them. And Liquid Shinola's new wax shine is as special as the applicator. It's the fine leather shine you don't have to brush. Why not turn over your family's shoe-shining chores to new Shinola liquid wax?
But first, I'd like to call your attention to an automobile headache that's happening more and more often these days. Drivers go out to start their car and find their battery dead. With all cars at least 3 years old, and most of them much older, it's only natural for batteries to be wearing out. But there's another reason for increased battery trouble: ration driving. The little driving we do these days can't put back into the battery the charge used up by long-standing and frequent starts. As a result, most batteries remain in a run-down condition and wear out sooner. See your neighborhood signal dealer now for a complete free battery inspection. Your Signal dealer has just received a fresh stock of quality batteries, built to Signal's own specifications for longer service. Batteries so fine, they're fully guaranteed up to 2 years. Throughout winter, and for many months to come, you'll be assured of quick starts if you arrange with your Signal dealer now to get a new deluxe quality Signal battery. And now, back to the Whistler.
If your car doesn't spring to life the moment you touch the starter, don't blame your car. Try a tank full of Signal ethyl. If your car's pickup doesn't make other drivers cast envious glances in your direction when the traffic light says go, don't blame your car. Try a tank full of Signal ethyl. And if pings and loss of power are forcing you to shift on hills that other cars walk up in high, don't blame your car. Try a tank full of Signal ethyl. After all, the performance any car delivers can be only as good as the gasoline you use to power it. That's why it's only natural that Signal ethyl, a true premium quality gasoline, will bring out the best in any car, whether it's brand new or pre-war too. So if you're not happy about the way your car is acting, don't apologize for it. Drive into a Signal station. See if a tank full of Signal ethyl doesn't surprise you with performance you can be proud of. Darling, I am growing old. That could well be the theme song of today's automobiles, what with more than half of the cars now operating being over 8 years old. But regardless of how old or how new your car may be, there's a wonderful spring tonic to bring out the best in any car of any age. It's Signal ethyl, the premium grade of Signal's famous Go Farther gasoline. You say your car lags behind and watches others go by when the traffic signal says go? Then you're not powering your car with Signal ethyl. You say your car complains on hills and pings force you to shift? Then you're not powering your car with Signal ethyl. There's no tonic like this smooth, super powerful super fuel to put spring into your car and the joy of spring into your driving. And what do you know? It's spring right now. High time for you to try a tank full of Signal ethyl right now. I'd like to say a word about the current trend back to good old-fashioned value in buying. Frankly, we at Signal are delighted to see this. After all, Signal gasoline, the famous Go Farther gasoline, has long been the choice of drivers who appreciate extra value. And for two good reasons. One, of course, is Signal's good mileage. And number two is the thing which makes that good mileage possible. Signal's superior performance. Here's what I mean. In order to put that thrilling knock-free power back of your accelerator, Signal gasoline has to help your motor run more efficiently. And when your motor runs more efficiently, naturally you enjoy extra mileage. So you see, mileage is the result of the same features a gasoline must have to give you superior performance. That's why Signal says, in gasoline, it takes extra quality to go farther. And remember, Signal is the famous Go Farther gasoline. Throughout the 7 Pacific Coast states, the same independently operated Signal service stations who help you go farther with Signal gasoline are now prepared to reduce your engine wear due to lubrication 50% with the amazing new Signal Premium Motor Oil. Why not at a friendly Signal dealer? Change your motor oil tomorrow. But first, a word about the amazing growth of Signal Oil Company from a mere handful of stations in Southern California into a coast-wide organization serving 6 western states from Canada to Mexico. That growth has in large measure been due to one policy, which Signal has followed consistently for 17 years, to make each product that bears the name Signal even better and better. That goes not only for Signal gasoline and Signal Premium Compounded Motor Oil, but also for Signal's line of fine quality automotive accessories. For instance, take Signal's new deluxe battery. Unlike ordinary batteries, which are guaranteed for only 12 or 18 months, Signal deluxe batteries are guaranteed for a full 30 months on a service basis. And their improved all-rubber separators, the finest type known to battery engineering, make Signal deluxe batteries deliver up to 35% more power. So, whether it's long life or dependable trouble-free performance you're interested in, you'll be wise to see your Signal dealer before you buy any battery. Compare the low cost per month of the Signal Deluxe battery.
Compare the generous trade-in Signal dealers are now offering for old batteries. Compare their convenient credit terms. You'll see why, from any angle, today's best battery buy is the Signal Deluxe battery, sold only at Signal service stations.
If rising prices have given you the idea that pennies have lost their purchasing power, folks, you haven't tried Signal Ethyl gasoline. And here's why I say that. For pennies extra, you can enjoy the premium quality of Signal's famous Go Farther gasoline. But what a wonderful extra dividend those pennies return in driving pleasure. An extra you can feel and hear and see. Yes, with Signal Ethyl powering your motor, you can see your car step out front when the traffic light goes green. On Signal Ethyl diet, you'll hear your engine purr contentedly as you soar effortlessly up hills, where pings force other cars to shift. And should an emergency call for swift acceleration, you'll feel the way your motor takes hold with smooth, eager power on Signal Ethyl. When a tank full of this Signal super fuel is all it takes to discover the best performance your car can deliver, don't you think you owe it a try? My guess is you'll say Signal Ethyl is the best investment you've ever made in driving pleasure. Some fans with whom I was talking before the program started said to me, "Marvin, we're not doubting your word, but you say such wonderful things about Signal Ethyl. It's hard to believe any gasoline could be quite that good." Well, frankly, friends, I'm hoping you won't just take my word for it. I'm hoping you'll be so intrigued you'll want to find out for yourself. For instance, if you're skeptical when I tell you about Signal Ethyl's trigger-quick starting, there's an easy way you can prove it. If it sounds too good to be true when I enthuse about Signal Ethyl's peppy pickup, there's an easy way you can prove it. And if it seems too much to expect that Signal Ethyl will let you purr up hills in high while other cars shift and clatter, there's an easy way you can prove it. How? Why, by driving into any Signal service station and treating your car to a tank full of Signal Ethyl. When you bear down on the accelerator pedal and feel that sweet, sweet performance, my bet is you'll say that Marvin Miller was sure right about Signal Ethyl.
Meantime, since thorough scientific lubrication is even more important to your car during the rainy season, I'd like to tell you about some of the extras you get in a Signal lube job. You see, Signal dealers, being in business for themselves, do go out of their way to give you the kind of job they're proud to stand back of. That's why, for instance, they take no chances on memory when they lubricate your car. Instead, they check against Signal's factory-recommended lubrication chart, which shows every lubrication point on your car. And they use 9 specialized Signal oils and greases, so each part will have the exact type of protection it needs. But do they stop there? No, sir. Just to make doubly sure not a single part has been overlooked, they check each point again, which is why it's called Signal Double Check Lubrication. Now, that's the kind of lube service you want if your car is to give you the long, trouble-free service that was built into it. And that's the kind of lubrication you get from friendly, independent Signal dealers. And now back to the Whistler.
Signal gasoline. Let every traffic signal remind you, you do go farther with Signal gasoline. Yes, you do go farther with Signal. Friends, have you picked up your free federal use stamp protector yet at your Signal gasoline dealers? The deadline has already passed, you know, for getting your new use stamp on your windshield. And since that little stamp has to hang on your windshield for a whole year, you'll naturally want to protect it from moisture or scuffing so it won't peel off. That's why Signal Oil Company had these little use stamp protectors made up for you. They're smart-looking, transparent, and water-resistant, so you can wash right over them without affecting your use stamp. And of course, they're free, one of the little extra services your Signal dealer offers to keep your car looking its best. Unfortunately, like all things in wartime, the supply is limited this year. Since every car will be needing one, I'd suggest that you get yours without delay tomorrow if possible. Just drive into any of the friendly stations displaying Signal's yellow and black circle sign and say, "I'd like one of the use stamp protectors that was offered free on the Whistler." Meantime, a word about today's pre-war bargain in gasoline mileage that's helping more and more wise Western drivers stretch their ration gas stamps. I'm talking about the good pre-war mileage you still get in Signal Go Farther gasoline. You see, the gasoline ingredients which you've heard are reserved for war are the very volatile, highest octane components, such as isopentane. That's where Signal gasoline still shines. For today's Signal formula still contains not only all the high-energy components that gave pre-war Signal gasoline its superior mileage, but also new high-mileage hydrocarbons have been added. You can prove this for yourself by keeping track of your mileage. You'll find it's as true today as before the war. You do go farther with Signal gasoline. Recently, I was looking at one of the newly announced 1949 cars. As the salesman pointed out the air conditioner and the front seat that drops back to make a bed, I couldn't help thinking it's the trend of really modern products to do more than is primarily expected of them. Just as Signal Premium Compounded Motor Oil does so much more than just lubricate. Of course, Signal Premium has 100% pure paraffin base, the finest money can buy. But in addition, Signal Premium Oil contains scientific compounds that go to work inside your motor, doing jobs that regular oil alone can never do. One compound, for instance, washes out accumulated carbon gum and varnish. Another compound guards expensive bearings from corrosion. And still other compounds keep the oil from thinning and prevent excessive foaming. No wonder Signal Premium is the oil that guarantees a sweeter running motor. So next time you change oil, have your Signal dealer put in the modern type Signal oil that does so much more than just lubricate. Signal Premium Compounded Motor Oil. Meantime, since there are only 5 shopping days till Christmas, I have a brilliant last-minute idea. I hope there are no little boys listening, because what I want to suggest is that there is no finer present than a switch for that forgotten name on your gift list. The forgotten name I'm referring to is your car, and the switch I'm suggesting is a switch to Signal. You know that Signal gasoline must have something. For Signal to have grown so in popularity from a mere handful of stations in Southern California to almost 2,000 Signal dealers serving 6 western states from Canada to Mexico. Of course, I don't have to tell you that Signal is famous as the Go Farther gasoline. But even more important to you is the extra driving pleasure you enjoy, thanks to the extra efficiency today's Signal coaxes from your motor. So if you want your gas pedal to keep that Christmas morning thrill year-round, remember Marvin Miller's suggestion. Give your car a switch for Christmas. A switch to Signal gasoline. Meantime, a question for you drivers. Are you getting as many miles per gallon from the gasoline you're now using as you did before the war? Well, the answer is yes if you're using Signal Go Farther gasoline. That's why, if you're interested in stretching your gas stamps, and who isn't, you'll find it's as true today as before the war. You do go farther with Signal gasoline. Friends, as you sit listening to the Whistler, you hear only sounds. You hear a certain creaking, and in your mind you picture a slowly opening door, or the sound of a motor accelerating, and you visualize a car driving off. All right, here's a test for you. See if you can picture in your mind the trademark of the sponsor of this program, your neighborhood Signal gasoline dealer. I'll give you 2 seconds. Well, you were right. If you visualized a black circle with yellow letters spelling out the words Signal gasoline, and, of course, a traffic signal in the center, which is why we say let every traffic signal remind you, you do go farther with Signal gasoline. What's more, that's a mighty good sign to look for these days, because there you'll find not only Signal's famous Go Farther gasoline, but the full line of Signal's specialized lubricants. Really conscientious service, too, by experienced Signal dealers, more eager to please you because they're in business for themselves. So let the black and yellow Signal circle be your insurance of the protection your car needs to last out the duration. The Whistler will return in just a moment with the strange ending of tonight's tale. If you could have your gasoline tailored to order, just what characteristic would you consider most important? Well, today, under gasoline rationing, the chances are you'd say mileage. which explains why so many drivers have been changing to the West's most famous longer mileage motor fuel, Signal Go Farther gasoline. You see, for years, drivers who have kept a careful record of gasoline mileage have found they do go farther with Signal gasoline.
All the rich treasures man gets from the earth and Mother Nature, none has been more highly esteemed than wine, good, delicious wine. And if you are one who does not yet know how much and how delightfully Roma wines add to your meals, well, let me urge you not to miss out any longer on such a treat as this. There's nothing complicated about it. Just get and serve Roma wine with any meal or any time in any kind of glass you wish. Serve it chilled. Try the many different kinds of Roma wine until you find those you like best of all. Try Roma California Sherry with its wonderful nut-like flavor as an appetizer, or ruby red Roma Burgundy, or the deliciously delicate flavored Roma Sauterne. These superb wines cost you only pennies a glassful, and yet they make even the simplest meal taste like $1 million. Get some today, and if your dealer is temporarily out of Roma, please try again soon. You owe it to yourself to have and regularly enjoy R-O-M-A, Roma Wines, America's largest selling wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Say, no doubt you'll be out in the family car with Mother and Dad sometime tomorrow or Sunday. And here are two things you'll want to do. First, you'll want to stop by your Skelly service station for a tank full of Skelly Aeromax gasoline. Because Skelly Aeromax is a high-octane gasoline for modern motors, just like Captain Midnight was explaining to Chuck in today's program. And Aeromax Ethyl gasoline is even higher in octane. Your Skelly man will tell you which one is best for your car. Then the other thing you'll want to do is to join the new 1940 Flight Patrol. Your Skelly man will give you your junior pilot's application card right away and send right in for your spinning propeller Medal of Membership. Remember, it doesn't cost you a penny. So see your Skelly man and join the new 1940 Flight Patrol tonight. Now don't forget to tune in again Monday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight. Brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. What is the significance of the weird cry which rings out over the sobbing of the wind? And what caused Captain Midnight to stop so suddenly? Be sure to listen Monday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing!
You'll like the delicious, meaty flavor of Spam, the way it satisfies husky appetites.
It's Monday night, and time for Burns and Allen. And when the kitchen clock warns, hurry up, Mother, time for the youngsters to come running home, take it easy and solve the school lunch problem with Spam. S-P-A-M. Spam is that delicious meat originated and made only by Hormel. It's packed in a handy can, all ready to eat as soon as it's open. No fuss, no bother. Just cut off slices of this taste-tempting meat, put between slices of buttered bread, and say to the hungry youngsters, have a Spamwich. A perfect combination of sweet, juicy pork shoulder and tender ham. Spam has an extra goodness and meaty flavor all its own. Youngsters go for Spam in a big way. Try Spam tomorrow. When you see the easy recipes on the label, you'll discover you can serve Spam cold or hot. It's America's popular mealtime aid. So ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M, Spam. You'll be pleasantly surprised when you discover how Spam baked for dinner is a real taste tester that satisfies the family completely. That's because Spam, S-P-A-M, is a perfect blend of sweet, juicy pork shoulder meat and tender ham, seasoned in a better way, cooked to a delicious extra goodness. Plan a meal around baked Spam. It's so easy. Just open a can of Spam, place the meat in a shallow baking dish, and bake according to the recipe on the label. In a jiffy, you'll take to the table a main course so distinctive in meaty flavor, so filled with lip-smacking satisfaction that the family will say, Spam is really elegant eating. Give the folks baked Spam tomorrow. The easiest to get, best to eat dinner you've had in a long, long time. But start right and get the real thing. Be sure to ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M, Spam. And then you'll be happy like Susie in the story, who found...
Susie winked her eye, and Sam passed her by, but baked Spam for dinner was the way she got her guy.
Do the family a favor and remind Mother to get a can or two of Spam when she shops tomorrow. This delicious meat packed in a handy can is grand to eat, Easy to serve, cold or hot. Tomorrow, ask for Spam. And when the kitchen clock warns, hurry up, Mother, time for the youngsters to come running home, take it easy and solve the school lunch problem with Spam. S-P-A-M. Spam is that delicious meat originated and made only by Hormel. It's packed in a handy can, all ready to eat as soon as it's open. No fuss, no bother. Just cut off slices of this taste-tempting meat, put between slices of buttered bread, and say to the hungry youngsters, have a Spamwich. A perfect combination of sweet, juicy pork shoulder and tender ham. Spam has an extra goodness and meaty flavor all its own. Youngsters go for Spam in a big way. Try Spam tomorrow. When you see the easy recipes on the label, you'll discover you can serve Spam cold or hot. It's America's popular mealtime aid. So ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M, Spam. Friends, you will be pleasantly surprised when you discover how Spam baked for dinner is a real taste tester that satisfies the family completely. That's because Spam, S-P-A-M, is a perfect blend of sweet, juicy pork shoulder meat and tender ham, seasoned in a better way, cooked to a delicious extra goodness. Plan a meal around baked Spam. It's so easy. Just open a can of Spam, place the meat in a shallow baking dish, and bake according to the recipe on the label. In a jiffy, you'll take to the table a main course so distinctive in meaty flavor, so filled with lip-smacking satisfaction that the family will say, Spam is really elegant eating. Give the folks baked Spam tomorrow. The easiest to get, best to eat dinner you've had in a long, long time. But start right and get the real thing. Be sure to ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M, Spam. And then you'll be happy like Susie in the story, who found
Susie winked her eye and Sam passed her by, but baked Spam for dinner was the way she got her guy. Spry with Cake Improver. Spry with Cake Improver.
Spry means higher, richer, lighter, finer textured cake. Spry means easy, sure success with every cake you bake.
Spry with Cake Improver. Spry with Cake Improver.
It's S-P-R-Y, Spry, and it's one bowl method for the most delicious cakes ever. For no other type shortening has Spry's marvelous Cake Improver. Try Spry.
The Spry Treat of the Week. Spry croquettes, tempting golden brown croquettes so crisp and tender crusted they break at the touch of a fork. Delicious? For crispy, full-flavored fried foods, get pure, bland, all-vegetable shortening at its creamy best. That's Spry, S-P-R-Y.
Now, Sugar Crinkles, the sugar rice treat that's just right sweet, is proud to present Gunsmoke. Take it easy, Mom. You know your young folks are going to eat when you give them Sugar Crinkles for breakfast. Yes, boys and girls love Sugar Crinkles. And no wonder. It's the sugar rice treat that's just right sweet. Makes breakfast more fun than a circus. Now, the reason Sugar Crinkles suit your folks to a T is this. Some sugar-coated cereals they've tried seem too sweet. Others don't seem sweet enough. But when they dip their first spoonful of Sugar Crinkles, they've discovered a sugar-coated cereal that's just right sweet. And say those young folks of yours love to dip into the pack and eat Sugar Crinkles as a snack, too. So better get several packages. And now, Gunsmoke. Mother, it does your heart good, I know, when your young folks eat all of their breakfast cereal. That's why I'm so happy to tell you about new Sugar Crinkles. Sugar Crinkles, you know, is the sugar rice treat that's just right sweet. Crisp, golden nuggets of sugar-coated rice. They make breakfast more fun than a circus. Why, young folks love Sugar Crinkles so much, they disappear like magic. Now, you've had experience with sugar-coated cereals that seem too sweet to you, and others that just don't seem sweet enough to the youngsters. Well, what a wonderful surprise Sugar Crinkles will be to your whole family. For new Sugar Crinkles really are just right sweet. Remember, Sugar Crinkles make great snacks, too. Better get several packages.
For your breakfast or a snack, you love Sugar Crinkles. Sugar Crinkles can't be beat.
Sugar rice treat that's just right sweet.
With milk for the breakfast joy.
That's a snack from the pack, oh boy! Can't be beat, just right sweet. Sugar crinkles good
To eat.
Now back to Gunsmoke.